Since everyone is talking about the next video game crash is about to occur, let me give you my personal opinion about this whole situation. Because let's be honest, the next one's going to happen very soon. The reason the first video game crashed, or the reason the first video game crash occurred, is because the video game market was oversaturated with too much. And when I mean too much, like too much. This one, it's going to work a little different. The reason people are calling for a next video game crash is, number one, games are going way too over budget. Like, games are costing $100 million, $40 million, $50 million. Like, way too many budgets. And these companies want it all back. And it's like, you can't expect that amount of money back when there's a recession going on. Another reason why another video game crash is going to occur is there's far too many games that are being rushed and not being play tested. Like, the amount of games that are still coming out with game-breaking bugs and glitches, way too many are coming out and have to be patched down the line, and people are getting sick and tired of it. If you're giving me a product, I expect it to work out of the box, because if that's not happening, I'm not going to spend my money on it. Especially since we're on next gen, where you have to pay $70 for all the games. You better give me my fucking damn value, or I'm not going to spend any more money on it. 3. Way too many publishers are catering to, let's just call them special snowflakes. Okay, I'm not going to use the buzzword SJW or whatever. I said that way too many times back when I had my OG channel. They're catering to people that don't consume or buy media. And because of that, people are getting fed up. I don't care about your diversity argument or any of that fucking crap, because that is completely false. There is no diversity. It's called, you're trying to push agendas into our games that we are not a fan of. Take a look at the new Assassin's Creed game. How much people are hating on that. And no, it's not because the person in question in feudal Japan is black. It's because I found this out. He's gay. Yeah. A samurai in feudal Japan that is gay. I don't want that shit being pushed. Hell no. I'm trying to play video games to escape. I don't need a character that's being forced to be gay or lesbian or bisexual. If they're trying to be historically accurate, they're doing a terrible job of it. And I guarantee you, this game is going to flop. This is the same company that said, well, gamers got to get used to not owning their games. That just put an ire and fuel to the fire with consumers when they said that. So that's third. Fourth is, yes, we live in a recession. You may not think that's a part of why the video game crash is happening, but it is. People cannot afford video games that much in today's modern age. They can't. How many people are realistically going out there and spending their hard-earned money on full retail games? It's not much. The numbers are nowhere near as big as last year and the year before. Because it's a recession, people are tightening their wallets right now. And to a degree, I'm actually tightening my own wallet. I would say number 5, gaming companies are not listening to consumers. They're plugging in their ears, going la 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 la, I can't hear you. They're thinking about their bottom line instead of making the customer base happy, which is what you're supposed to do. No business should exist where you only think about profit first, then customer second. That's not how that goes. It's customers first, then bottom line. The fact that they're being so surprised and being Pikachu shocked that they're not getting the profit margins. I mean, what do you expect? I'm sure there's some other reasons I can outline. Another video game crash is coming. But this is what's on top of my head for right now. There is going to be a video game crash. And if there are some corporations that are doing the right thing and pleasing the customer, yeah, it's going to affect them. You need to think of the grand scheme. If we get this video game crash, then gaming can go back to normal. Remember when back in the 90s, when gaming was amazing, and I'd say early 2000s, it was good. It's really getting hard to be excited for games. There's only one game I'm getting, and that's Shin Megami Tensei, and that's coming June. If there isn't that many high-profile games I'm excited for this year, that tells you something. Just throwing my thoughts and opinions out there. The evidence is clear, though. You can see it, that the video game industry is slowly crashing, and it's going to crash hard. This claim about, oh, Nintendo's going to save everything like they did back in 1983, that's just not going to happen. Nintendo is not going to come and save the day again. People are delusional if they think that's going to happen. This is the JRPG King. I forgot to mention one thing. I just remembered it. Employees are being let go at an astronomical rate. And to those who lost their job in the video game industry, I feel for you. I really do. It really sucks to lose a job. I got let go. This was PS3 generation, so this was way back. But yeah, I got let go from this dishwasher job because I couldn't handle the amount of stress the job came with, and didn't help that no one was coming to help me with trying to clean the dishes. It's like I'm going as fast as I could. So I got laid off, and I was almost close to getting a PS3 bundle with Metal Gear Solid 4. I actually had to wait until the PS3 Slim before I got a PS3. There's some hindsight for you. And link will be below in the description to her video.
Like a constant spiral of doom and gloom and misery. And it's just constant. And at present, gaming history is literally unfolding before our very eyes. We are living through something that people in 10, 20, 30 years are going to talk about. Very much like we all talk about the video crash of 1983. And it's a very negative portion of history at the moment. So I wanted to discuss with you basically how the gaming industry has ended up in such a mess this time round, and whether we're already in a crash or whether we are literally charging towards one. And I feel like the obvious place to start with this is back in 2020 in the pandemic. During the pandemic, gaming was literally the saviour of people in lockdown. Everyone's stuck in their homes, they're furloughed from work, they've got nothing to do, and gaming was just doing really well. A lot of people needed it to escape the drudgery of being locked in their houses. There was only three choices: social media or TV. Well, you couldn't watch sports anymore because no one was allowed to even play sports in the first place, let alone get to watch it on TV. Therefore, gaming was pretty much one of the only options for many people. And the gaming industry, as a result of that, was absolutely booming, and to an extent they saw themselves as pandemic proof, as in like the whole world was burning down around them, yet they were growing and growing. It was like nothing could stop them. Through this period, did the gaming industry gain a false sense of security? Well, one thing is for sure. According to the news, the gaming industry is constantly complaining about not making enough money. considering the vast amount of cost that they're putting into everything, with how many hundreds of millions this cost and how many hundreds of millions that cost, well, of course, they're probably not going to be making the money back on it. But this has seen various companies, as a result of that, laying off thousands and thousands of members of staff to basically try to meet shareholder promises. Multiple expensive AAA games aren't hitting the sales figures expected or needed, essentially. And games like Suicide Squad and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are like prime examples of this. I'm not even going to go into like the details about each of those. I've made a video about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Square Enix only last week. So if you want to know a bit more depthy information on that, go find that now or at the end of this video. Others are using the excuse that basically the rising cost of game development is making predatory microtransactions